Hello, welcome back to this new reading log. So this time's new log is gonna be all about new releases and some backup log that some manga that I haven't read probably for the last 6 months or so. So I'm trying to do a catch up. But first, we have The Apothecary Diaries of Volume 13. This is the current new release. In the last volume, Mama and Jinshi were stuck in a cave, and then something happened. She found out something about Jinshi, and we also get to find out about Jinshi's true identity. If you watch the anime, you probably know that Jinshi is not a regular eunuch. He happens to be someone related to someone very important. Anyway, Mama and Jinshi were stuck at this cave because they were trying to run away from a shooting because, of course, they wanted to try assassinate Jinshi because these people knew exactly his true identity. Now, Jinshi's been trying to tell Mama his true identity, but it always gets disrupted because Mama found something when they were inside the cave, and then at the same time, when they were finally back to their place, Jinshi gave her something that will make her happy, but at the same time, he wanted to tell her the truth, but then Mama got distracted because, Mama always gets ecstatic whenever she gets something that she wants. I forgot to mention they did find out who was trying to assassinate Jinshi, but that's already been solved. So after this drift, they went back home. They're back at the palace, and then Mama's friend, I forgot her name. Oh my god, I'm sorry. She's been trying to ask if she knows anybody who's hiring because I guess a certain roles their contract gets expired, and then one of their friend named Shisui suggested that to go to the bathhouse. Maybe they're looking for something. So all three of them went to the bathhouse, kind of check it out, and then suddenly they started massaging all this higher concerts and kind of give an idea maybe not Shisui, the other girl, forgot her name, might be interested working at the bathhouse instead. After the bathhouse event, Mama had to solve a ghost situation at concert Lishu, the younger one, but they found out it wasn't a ghost. It was just like a mirror being reflected by a sunlight. Then there's been a lot of buzz that there's been a lot of eunuchs being hired. However, they're former slave. And then another event happened where her name is actually Shaolan. She bumped into this guy, dropped an ice, and now he's pissed off because that ice is supposed to be for concert Lolan. And then Mama decided to save that ice and I think she made a shave ice or something. And luckily everything went well, but they haven't really mentioned if concert Lolan like it or not. But this volume is pretty quick and fun. I really like it. It's never a dull moment reading Apothecary Diaries because the sarcasm between Mao Mao and Jinshi is just very funny, and the story just flows so well and beautifully, and that is why whenever a new release comes out, I have to read it right away. Anyway, love Apothecary Diaries. It just sucks that this series only comes out twice a year, and now I feel like I need to read the light novel because the light novel is definitely ahead, and I feel like the anime is going to be way ahead because they're definitely following the light novel because the manga has a slow release. Alright, I just finished Windbreaker Volume 9. I'm always looking forward to reading Windbreaker. So in this volume, we got Sakura, Su, and Nire. We're heading to meet Tsubaki Kino. This is Tsubaki Kino to a restaurant, but they end up getting lost, and then they also end up in the red light district. And then suddenly they got into a fight because they were trying to protect a girl, and they happened to find out that this girl is a singer and very important to this person named Kanji Nakamura. He's like a chairman. He's basically the leader of this street called the Roppo Ichiza. So it's another area outside of Furin where they do get a lot of fights. They're trying to protect its area to make sure everybody's happy. After the fight, they finally met Subakino. Subakino is actually working at this club as a dancer. I know it's kind of weird because he's only in high school and he's already working as a dancer. Is that appropriate? I don't know. That is what I just read from the story. Anyway, they finally met Subakino, and the chairman thanked them for helping The girl, her name is Shizuka. She's a singer, as I mentioned. And then suddenly they heard a loud noise. Apparently, the guys that they were fighting came back with more guys, and then more fights came. The whole reason about this fight was getting the girl. I don't know why they want the girl. Maybe for a lot of reason. It doesn't say. So hopefully the next volume it will mention why they need the girl so bad. So Suo, Nire, and Sakura decide to help the chairman, Kanji. Yes, more fights. They're basically fighting for this girl, and we don't know why. Fights after fights, more people came, another group of guys came, and the volume kind of ended up of they were about to start fighting again. Kind of exciting, but yet, it's very brutal. I know that it can be brutal, but there's a lot of good messages about this story. It's not just all about a fight, but it's all about protecting the people they love, especially the community, making sure everyone is safe because you got a lot of people from outside just love to cause trouble, and their job is to just really make sure everyone is safe. This story has a lot of character development, especially our main character Sakura. He's very sensitive, yet now he's learning to ask help. He doesn't have to rely on himself, but he also is learning how to rely on others. But in this volume, Nire, he's like the yellow-haired dude. He likes to write things, grab information about people. He wants to learn how to fight and protect himself because sometimes he feels like he's powerless or he can't help. And so Suo has been helping Nire, and then slowly he's learning how to protect himself before he even can fight. Other than that, very exciting. Get to learn more about Nire, and also we get to meet more characters from the story. I think volume 10 comes out this month, so can't wait for that. And I believe they might start releasing the rest of the volume every month later this summer. I think it might be just rumors. I'm not sure if it's quite true, but yeah. Looking forward to read more of Windbreaker, and season 2 comes out this Thursday. Oh boy, I have not read Akane Banashi probably since last year, March or April. It's been quite a while. Wow, that's probably like almost a year. I suddenly stopped because I got super distracted with other series. I've always loved reading this series. It's just fun and entertainment, and you just get to learn so much about Rakugo. Storyteller is very traditional in Japan. Our main character Akane, she's only 18. She realizes she wants to become a Rakugo Ka because of her father. Now the father didn't accomplish because he was failed by a certain man, and now Akane wants to, I wouldn't say she wants to take revenge. She wants to prove everyone that they made a mistake, and now she wants to take over her father's footstep. And then in this last 2 volume, she realized she needs to change her way of things, and now she's learning from other masters beside her own master because she can't just stick to one style. She has to kind of venture out and get out of her comfort zone. And not only that, she has to learn all different stories in order for her to really become successful and stand out from the rest. I'd say it's very competitive. Each character has their own niche, but they call it nin. In other words, their way of things, their style. And this way, it will really captivate the audience. And so that is why she's working hard to do her best, and not to mention learn from other masters and even apprentices, so this way she can have more broad styles. She definitely has the potential because even the other master that she was trained under can see it in their own eyes, and the fact that she's very determined and willing to learn, it's definitely what makes her different from the rest. So other than that, there's a competition that she needs to attend in order to move out, because right now she's a Zenza, because there's 4 different tiers. There's a Zenza apprentice, Zenza Futatsutame, I'm definitely saying that wrong, and the last one is Sinuichi, which is the last tier, and right now she's a Senza. And in order to go up, the first competition, she has to get selected for the top 4, and then once she gets selected for the top 4, then she has to make sure she wins for the top 4, and then she can move up. Sorry if that was confusing. I really like the story because you just get to learn. It's very educational. I never heard of Rakugo before until I read this series. It's really good. I enjoy a lot. I just hope and pray that they will make an anime soon. I feel like this story is very underrated because it just talks about something very powerful, very beautiful, and very captivating. And even though sometimes it can be intense, whatever story they choose, it can be very funny and sometimes very playful. So far, this series has 10 volumes. I think the 11th one comes out this month. I'm not sure if I'm all caught up because sometimes I fall behind and not pay attention when the new volumes comes out. Other than that, looking forward to read, especially whether if not she will make it through the first round and then make it to the top 4 and then hopefully level up. Another series that I haven't read for a while, this one's called A Cat from Our World and the Forgotten Witch. I feel like the title is different from the first. Anyway, so our main character Jean, a little recap. She's a witch or a sorceress. 50 years ago, she saved the town. However, they decided to take away her power, and then after 50 years, no one remembers what she did. And so whenever she goes to town, everybody treat her so differently and very disrespectful, but she has no choice to go in town to sell her potions and gather some supplies. And then one day, even though she doesn't have her power, she was able to summon something, but it turned out to be a cat from another world. At first, they never get along, but it took them a while to finally get to know each other and be friendly. And then one day, the town found out that she has a demonic beast, and so the Empress Dowager decided to send an assassin. This guy, his name is Flawed, but when he got there and then met the cat, he kind of changed his mind, and then he decided to talk to the witch if he could pet the cat, and he did. And so that was kind of like unusual and cute at the same time. So he basically like stay around just so maybe he can play with the cat. And then suddenly another character show up, this little girl. She happened to be a half human and half elf. She ran away from a carriage that was suddenly attacked by dragons. But apparently there were a group of people trying to find her because she's actually a slave. However, when she finally found a place to hide at the witch place, the witch Jean decided to help her and cover her up, and till now she's been staying with Jean and helping her with all the things that she needs to do, and at the same time Jean's been helping her how to read. But in surprise, she actually has a power, because one day she was in the forest alone reading. She was about to get attacked by a demon, and suddenly she used something by her hand, and the demon just ran away. Now, aside from Flav, there was another assassin that was supposed to kill Jean, but when she saw Jean, she realized she's the most heroic and well-known sorceress, and so she decided to fled and go back to the kingdom. However, she was being punished because she didn't do her job. Then afterwards, suddenly the kingdom was attacked by demons. So Jane believed that either the Demon King is back, or who knows. I think this series is just full of fun and big fantasy. The fact that Jean decided to take in a little girl, and the fact that there's an assassin who's just living on the side and really wants to play with the cat. Everything just seemed to flow nice for her, but at the same time it seems like maybe the Demon King is back. I don't know, but there is another volume that I haven't picked up. I'm falling behind. I need to catch up. So definitely looking forward to read more of this because I just love it. It's so fast and quick to read. Love the illustration. And I definitely need to pick up the next volume. Here's another series that I haven't read for a while, but this is only volume 2. So this one's called A Kingdom of Quartz. So in this story, our main character, Blue, has finally entered the academy in order for her to become an angel or archangel. And she also found out that in order to move up, she has to become a champion and be chosen by 4 families or individual So this is the part I'm like, what? It's like another twist from the story. And here's another twist. They have powers apparently based on the four elements: earth, water, fire, and wind. Because at the very end, each student has to find out what kind of power they have. I'm like, that sounds very familiar. Anyway, Blue, when it was her turn, it was supposed to be water, but it turned to black. And then one of the students got afflicted by this darkness. And then suddenly, Blue was either dreaming or transferred to another realm. And the prince was there also. I don't know why. And then I had a bad feeling about the prince, even though he looked so innocent and blah, blah, blah. Then he did something to her. He practically stabbed her. And then when she woke up, so there's also clergies in this story. Then one of the clergy said like, oh, we need to execute you because of something something. The volume definitely ended with a big mystery because now she's either being accused of something that she did, but she didn't really do anything. I found the story pretty not bad, but I just found the plot super messy and unorganized. And I'm gonna sound very negative, but not very original, because finding out that she has powers based on the four elements sounds familiar, and they have to place their hand to find out about their powers sounds familiar. And then there was a twist about, oh, they need to become a champion so this way they can move up, sounds familiar. I don't know, like I really like that the fact that it's all about angels and demons, but then the whole plot and all the twists, it just seemed very not exciting because it just sounds so familiar and not completely different from other story. And when there's too many twists, it just doesn't seem like it's gonna be something I'm gonna look forward, because again, it just sounds so familiar with other story. So I'm not saying I'm disappointed, but it's alright, and hopefully it'll pick up better on the next volume, because it did left like a big cliffhanger. And so I was really looking forward to read this, but sometimes it's unpredictable and you can't try to expect too much because you never know. Apparently, volume 3 does not come out until September. I thought it was already out because I swear I got this volume around October or November. So I guess this series has a slow release. So volume 3 is in September and then volume 4 is in December. That's a small gap versus 2 and 3. Kind of interesting. But other than that, yeah, I'm gonna wait until what's gonna happen to Blue because she's about to get executed. Alright, I just finished these 2 volumes. This one's called Hakume and Mikochi, volume 2 and 3. This is just a very cute slice of life fantasy story about these 2 little girls. You just learn so much because they do whatever they can and use whatever they have in their surroundings. Hakume, she's more like a builder, likes to fix things, while Mikochi, she cooks and sew. So they're almost opposite, however, they work really well together. So these girls lives in the forest. Their place actually got fixed this time because the last time it had to be fixed because something happened. And then they found out that they have a bunch of residents living above them. That was in volume 3, so that was kind of surprise. Overall, it's just a little bit of adventure about their life. Hakume, a story about where she wanted to get some work done, so she was trying to convince her boss or coworkers if she can do something. And then Mikochi, since she sews stuff, she showed us how to dye certain things by using whatever she needs in their surroundings. And then there was a point where they were in town helping a songstress, not a songstress, a singer. Her stage was wrecked by these people around the area, and so they had to figure out some situation where it was sort of like a battle between, they call themselves old timers and newcomers. So that was a pretty interesting read. Aside from that, Hakume met a stylist where her place was made of an egg, and she was kind of curious how it was able to stand. And then the owner kind of showed her, and then at the same time she got a haircut. Then there was a story about a baker who makes cannelli. So this story is just full of things that they happen to be in the area or things they need, or it's very unpredictable. This is what I like about this story. It's so exciting because you never know what you're gonna read about, because these two little girls are just full of fun and adventures. This series has already 12 volumes out, and there's actually an anime, but I think the anime is only available in Prime, so I definitely want to check that out because this story is just slice of life, very cute and adorable, and it's very exciting and fun to read. I don't feel slightly bored. I'm always excited to see what's gonna happen next because it's just full of adventure. Ooh, that was the egg. Do you see that? That's her house. It's an egg. And this is a time when Hakumi got her haircut. So cute. Also, if you're planning to get volume 2 and 3, I think 3 is easy to find now, but when I got this last year, it took me a while to find 2 and 3 because I guess it was out of stock for a while, but I believe 2 is still out of stock, and some people might be selling it for really overpriced because I did get mine a little more than the retail price because I couldn't find it. I thought I did, and then they were out of stock. So just be warned that volume 2 might be hard to find. So this is usually where I have all my new releases that I haven't read, but I'm falling behind. I also put some random volumes here because I don't have any more space. So I'm still falling behind with Tales of the Tendo Family. Mashle, I'm waiting until I'm ready because that is the last 3 volumes. I'm not ready for it yet. Colorless, that's the last 2 volumes as well. I need to start reading Dire Dark again, as well as Kaiju number 8, and even Black Butler. And Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, there's a new volume that I need to also grab. Blade of the Moon Princess. This is a short series, just 5 volumes, as well as Astra Lost in Space. I really need to catch up. I might extend this reading log for next week and do another catch up because I need to read these. Even Gachakuta in Summer After School, and then one more volume for Nicola. That's the last volume. The Haunted Bookstore, that's even the last volume. Sorry about here we go. And Summer Hikaru Died. There's another volume that just came out, and as well as Turn Out My Online Friends Is My Real Life Boss. Need to catch up. And even Sakamoto Days. So I might extend this reading log to do another of catch up. Alright guys, this is going to be my last reading for this week. This one's called Dan Da Dan. I read 8 and 9. This is a big roller coaster series. A lot of strange and weird things happens, from supernatural to alien, and sometimes they just come out of nowhere. Of course, our main character Momo and Okuro. Aside from them, you also got Gigi, Ira, Grandma Seko, and Turbo Granny. However, we're gonna meet 2 more characters named Kinta, and I forgot the other girl's name. She's an alien. Yes, we're gonna have another alien character. I don't want to go further, but so in the last volume, Gigi was trying to control his power because he became a vessel for the evil eye, and now they're trying to figure out how he can control his power without hurting anybody, until Okuron figure out how to convince him, like, hey, let's not hurt anybody, but instead you can fight me until the day comes. And so Gigi, or the evil eye, decide to accept that truth, or not a contract, but you know what I mean. And now that is settled, they're gonna have another big issue. But first, I don't want to confuse you, but if you are confused, I'm sorry if you haven't read Dan 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 or have seen the anime. So from the beginning, Okurun lost something very precious, and he was only able to acquire 1. And then there's been rumors about a golden ball hanging around at this apartment complex, and then when they went there, it happened to be an invisible kaiju. Yes, you heard that right. So they were battling a kaiju, and they realized everything was getting dark, and they think like there's an alien coming as well. And we're also gonna meet this character named Kinta because he was kind of like tagging along because he wants to get closer to Momo and kind of figure out their relationship between Momo and Okurun. He's kind of weird but very eccentric, and so he got involved in that situation, finding kaiju. So he pretty much find out about their secrets, having power and sort of like that. And then after battling the kaiju, it got smaller, and then it wasn't like a real kaiju. It turned out to be like a suit of a kaiju, and inside was the girl who is an alien. Her name is actually Vamola. So she has a different language. So they went to seek their friend Mantis Shrimp because he's also an alien. He had this gadget that might help, with the language better. However, it's sort of broken, and so he needs to fix that. And now Momo has to look after Vamola, and then she took her to school. But on the way to school, they actually took a shortcut and then bumped into this tall, weird-looking character. So they had a battle again. So this story, there's not a dull moment. There's always things happening, either good or bad, or something very funny. Anyway, Momo and Vamola had to fight this character, and of course they won. So once they finally reached the school, they found out that Vamola will be at Okurun's class instead. Now, when it comes to Vamola, when she woke up, something happened, and Momo is pissed off, as well as Aya, because they feel like this girl is gonna come between, if you know what I mean, because Okurun may have a thing for Momo or Aya may have a thing for Okurun. It's a whole love triangle or so. Now that we have this girl, it's almost like a square. Anyway, Momo is kind of bothered the fact that she's going to be staying at Okurun, but when she went to check out his class, there's a girl in his class who's kind of overprotected towards Okurun because she thinks that Momo is bothering him too much. So yeah, that's how the volume ends. I really like Dan Dan Dan. It might be not everyone's cup of tea because of how eccentric and weird it is, and it's kind of fast-paced, which I really like it. Again, it's not very dull. It's always fun and excitement, and I can't wait for the season 2 of the anime because season 1 was awesome. I definitely want to show you guys the illustration because it's been a while. I love the illustration. It's so beautifully done. A lot of things always happen, a lot of action, and this is the moment where Vamola woke up, and I'm not gonna show too much because that could be a spoiler, but maybe I already said too much that it could have been also a spoiler. But anyway, so this is Kinta and Vamola. So much fun. I really like it so much. Can't wait to read more, which I could, but I just want to read 2 for now. Alright, I'm gonna end this reading log. It was very successful. I'm so proud that I'm finally catching up some other series that I haven't read. So I am gonna continue this catch up for the following week for my reading log because I still have other series that I need to catch up. So this week we read Apothecary Diaries Volume 13. So much fun. Sadly, I have to wait until September. Windbreaker. I love this series so much. I'm so glad that season 2 of the anime is already out. Akane Banashi. I read volume 6 and 7. Really like the story. It's very educational, and you just learn a lot about someone who is a Rakugo. Okay, next we got A Cat from Our World and the Forgotten Witch. I adore this story so much, and I can't wait to read more. Then we have A Kingdom of Quartz. Even though the story left like a cliffhanger, I just hope that it'll get better. And then another story that I adore so much is Hakome and Mikochi, a very cute slice of life about 2 little girls and their little adventures. And lastly, we read Dan Dan Dan. Oh my god, I love Dan Dan Dan. It's just full of fun, very entertainment, and a lot of action. And I can't wait for season 2 of the anime. Let me know in the comment if you have read the series or if you have any favorite. Other than that, I just want to say thank you for watching this reading log. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.